I'm going to walk you through talking about the first few steps of making baking bread, then also showing you some examples of how it works. My bread is a no-knead 2-hour bread. It's from Artisan Bread with Steve from the YouTube channel. You use 3¼ cup of flour, 1¼ cup of warm water, 1¼ teaspoon of yeast, 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then you combine the dry ingredients and whisk them, and then you put the water, the yeast in the warm water, let it sit for 15 minutes to activate, stir it, and then add it to the wet mixture. Then stir the wet mixture and then put a lid on it and put it aside to rise for an hour. Silicone baking sheet that I use for turning out my bread. I got it through Amazon. I'm going to turn my bread out on this. First, dust it with a little bit of flour so that it doesn't stick. This is what my bread looks like after it's risen for an hour. Turn it out on the bread to just form and shape, and I coat with a little bit of flour. I'm trying the bread pan greased with oil or shortening of some kind, and then cornmeal to coat it with the flour to make it easier for the bread to get out. Put the bread in and you spread it out to the edges so that it is contained within the bread pan. Then you take a knife and you score the bread crosswise about 3 times. That's just to make it easier to manage. Then you let it rise again for a half an hour. That's it in there, and covered with a cloth or a plate is a good enough cover, but it works for me anyway. Then you rinse out your silicone baking sheet and lay it flat to dry. It's very easy to clean. It cleans up easily. The finished product.
But you have not done that to date.
The second thing I'm going to show you is how to make a soap scum remover from white vinegar and dish soap. You can use any kind of dish soap you might like, but the best recommended one, in my opinion, is Dawn soap, and I use the generic version of Dawn. And it's from Maker's Clean in YouTube video. It's a variation on their recipe, their do-it-yourself recipe. Making a variation of a do-it-yourself recipe from Maker's Clean on YouTube. Recycling a bottle or repurposing a bottle that I have labeled that it is soap scum remover. It uses 1:1 of vinegar, white vinegar, and Dawn dish soap. I use a generic version of Dawn. So I use a metal measuring cup, so that I don't have the residue stay in the plastic from the dish soap and the vinegar. And I use a funnel to pour it into that bottle. To start, I added 1/2 cup of white vinegar and 1/2 cup of Dawn dish soap. And the result is a soap scum cleaner that works very, very well. I've been happy with it. I've tried it already in a couple different times. And it's good for like a fiberglass or acrylic tub. And this is repurposing this bottle to hold the cleaner for me. So I recommend this. I can honestly say I have tried it, so I think it will be something that you would like. It uses a lot of products, so you need to know that you want to minimize too much usage. So if you want to have a cost-saving factor, it's not especially cost-saving, I don't believe, but it does a really good job with less chemicals. And I would say that everything is therefore repurposed, like the bottle is repurposed and the Dawn dish soap is generic. So it works well to remove soap scum. And you wait about 15 minutes and let it sit on the surface, and then you use a rag with water to wipe it off. This is how the bathtub looks after it's been cleaned with the soap scum remover. Looks pretty good. Keep in mind, this is a 40-year-old bathtub, acrylic bathtub, and it's hanging in there with these helps. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of new videos. And I hope to see you again sometime.